So far this year, we've been absolutely delighted. We started off the what we'd call our late season with some fantastic snow, as I'm sure you're aware, both in the UK, which helps, and obviously in the resorts.
You say within the UK that helps. How does that work then? What, people see snow outside their window in the UK and think skiing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a basic kind of instinct, I guess, and it's kind of when people are putting on their woolly hats and gloves in the UK. And largely the UK is more or less at sea level, give or take 10 or so metres, and people understand cognitively that when it's snowing here at 10 metres or sea level, then at 2,000 metres it's probably going to be glorious in terms of snow terms. So snow, though, big picture, fantastic, set the scene for us in the UK, and that trend has just continued throughout the year.
But the snow at the moment, as we speak, towards the end of January, is not so good out on the Alps at the moment. I mean, there's been a little bit of fresh snow the last few days. Has that affected things?
It does, actually. I mean, it's what I mean is what's continued has been the booking trend. However, it's got colder in the last 7 days or so. We've seen some great snow in Austria. The Hahnenkamm at the weekend was great, and to see that Ski Sunday's now back on our screens in the UK, so to see a great competition there, where there was starting to be, leading up to the Hahnenkamm, there was starting to be some concerns about snow, or didn't really weren't they were warranted, but not the snow gods came out. There was a lot of snow dances being done in resorts and in the UK. I think fantastic competition.
And you mentioned Austria just then. Are you seeing more British people going to Austria now? There was an increase last year with people maybe moving away from France and going to Austria. Is the same sort of thing happening this year in your experience?
Yes, people are saying, well, there is good value in Austria. The in-resort experience is in places like St Anton, that the price of beer, for example, and wine is better.
The all-important price of a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, France is a fantastic country, and the UK's number one destination. There's no, but almost a victim of its own success over the last decade, particularly where prices in resort were on a one-way march. That correction probably happened not 2 years ago, but probably last year starting. We saw some in-resort deals, some ski lift pass deals, and some prices starting to, even French hoteliers starting to be a little bit more realistic, inverted commas, with their prices, even in top resorts, top branded resorts like Courchevel 1850.
And do you think that's going to continue? Because it is the thing a lot of people complain about now, is just the cost of skiing and the cost of drinks and lift passes and equipment in resorts. Obviously it's partly due to the exchange rate, but there's a general feeling that it is expensive.
Well, I mean, local hoteliers are starting to correct that, and they used to take the view, well, it's a sterling problem, it's a British problem, but obviously what's a British problem is their problem, and they've come to recognise that we cannot have people coming back saying, it cost me an arm and a leg just to buy lunch. We're seeing some more all-inclusive deals from UK tour operators who are buying things very cannily, packaging it up within the UK sterling price, and so UK skiers are kind of navigating around some of the in-resort costs that they might otherwise have seen. So,
because that's been one of the sort of developments really in the last few years. There was a big growth in independent travellers a few years ago, but we're seeing now really people going back to the tour operators because, as you said, they can package up the whole holiday at a more realistic price. Would you say that's true?
From two angles really. One, the first level is absolutely the economies of scale that the package providers do provide is far outweighs a lot of the perceived independence and do-it-yourself cherry-picking prices. The classic example would be the transfer from the airport to the resort. It's nobody's favourite part of the holiday, but a tour operator can do that for £10-15 a head on average with the 50 people in a coach, compared to perhaps 5 or 10 times that if you do a hire car, do a taxi or whatever. So that is real buying economies. The second element is we have seen a lot of disruption over the last 12 months in holidaymakers' travel, and I think there is some recognition that UK tour operators do look after their customers. So we were largely lucky that the ash cloud came at the very tail end of the ski season last year, but UK tour operators brought their customers home in a remarkable scale and efficiency in comparison to independent travellers that had booked willy-nilly and were left to their own devices with their own internet connection to try and sort and scrabble around and get back.
Are you finding people are looking for bargains, particularly this winter? I mean, obviously the economic news is not good. I mean, there was latest figures show we might be in for a double-dip recession. Presumably that has a big impact on the ski industry, with people trying to search out good prices.
Yes, I mean, there's always a trade-off between getting the certainty of what you want and having the flexibility to pick up a bargain as and when it surfaces. And the ski capacity became a lot more realistic 2 years ago, and there was some trimming from tour operators and quite deep cuts actually 2 years ago. This year there was too much actually 2 years ago, and last year we could have sold more, and some tour operators have put on more capacity for this year, but in sensible single-digit percentages in the main, and so we're seeing more capacity this year and more demand. So that
was a wise decision, you were saying, for the ones
yes,
that had slightly increased
it was
capacity.
play it safe 2 years ago, cut capacity, reduce gearing from a tour operator perspective, add on a bit more capacity this year because the previous season went well or above expectation. Bit more capacity this year, but sensible. The skiers are pretty resilient. They tend to be young professionals in good jobs, and this is a prime holiday for them. And a passion, so that combination of two is a bigger pull. Passion, slightly better off younger professionals, and great snow. It's a potent combustible mix, really, and so we're seeing a lot of them. We're seeing a better January this year than ever before for us.
As a final question on the subject of deals, do you find it's a bit of a sort of double-edged sword in the sense that people now expect to get deals and get a reduced price on a holiday, so they hold off booking at the original price? So in a way, because you're offering all the deals, it ends up becoming slightly self-defeating.
Well, I mean, the other trend that we're seeing in January is people are coming back from the resort and booking for next year. So that there are some early booking deals.
That's presumably a fairly small number, though, compared to the larger market.
It is. However, particularly in January, I mean, it builds throughout the year with a slight recess in summer. But it's been a marked difference. We're kind of 3 times up on last year, albeit a smaller number, but a significant trend where people are coming back, seeing an early incentive deal. So people are responding to deals, absolutely. And however, it seems to be solidifying people's positions, really, I guess. And so if they're of the nature to book early, get it sorted, then a deal just helps them with that through that process. If they are already predisposed to booking late, then again a deal will convince them that that's what they need to do, and they will still book. Some of the peak weeks are still selling well and very, very strongly. That the New Year this year sold out extremely well. The half term sold out extremely well. So we're seeing some very strong, robust pricing around those dates, and some tactical deals around the outside of those. So there's something for everyone, really. You can get the surety of a peak date and enjoy your New Year break if you want to, or you can go sort of 3rd or 4th of Jan and sneak in a tactical deal.